Hello there, this is Nightline and I am Nadia. Azmi. These are the top stories. Prime Minister reiterates call for establishment of Asian Monetary Fund. And Bukit Aman to prepare detailed report on personnel's misconduct. Good morning. In a move to enhance the ASEAN's regional economic independence and safety net, the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, renewed his call for the establishment of an Asian Monetary Fund, AMF. The Asian-based institution is meant to understand the local economies, culture and the people to support Asian economies' outlook in terms of growth, development and stability without any strings attached. It was at his intervention at the 42nd ASEAN Summit 2023's opening and plenary session in Indonesia on Wednesday that the Prime Minister highlighted the significance of having the financial institution. The Prime Minister and other ASEAN leaders attended the summit to discuss several issues of common interest to the regional grouping. 8 heads of government from the 10 ASEAN member states participated in the summit in Labuan Bajo. The exceptions were Myanmar, which was not invited, and Thailand, which faces elections on May 14. Also present were ASEAN Secretary-General Dr. Kau Kim Horn and Timor-Leste Prime Minister Taur Matan Rua. In welcoming the ASEAN leaders' declaration on advancing regional payment connectivity and promoting local currency transaction, Datuk Seri Anwar said the initiative would enhance the use of local currencies to support cross-border trade and investment in ASEAN.
A regional mechanism will be able to better understand the realities and the needs of countries in the region and thus propose more suitable remedial measures.
On the ASEAN community's post-2025 vision, the Prime Minister said ASEAN must be able to demonstrate greater confidence and readiness to seize the opportunities aimed at bringing favourable changes to its people and region. The region will adopt the ASEAN community's post-2025 vision in the next 2 years to chart ASEAN's strategic path for the next 2 decades. Datuk Seri Anwar said the vision must also strengthen ASEAN's geopolitical and geo-economic footprint and assertiveness and shape a fair, just and ethical international order. And in view of the current needs of many Asian countries, the Prime Minister's call for the AMF is timely, which could bolster development, growth and stability.
The idea of an Asian Monetary Fund deserves to be given serious attention, in my view. There isn't any particular reason why we should rely only on existing international financial institutions on a government-to-government basis. And the more institutions we have provides a wider portfolio of opportunities, particularly in the ASEAN region, where the policy implications, the policy necessities and the economic realities are rather different to those in other parts of the world. It will give countries in the region another opportunity or another source of potential assistance, which they may not be able to get access to at the moment because there are different levels of economic development.
In setting up the region's own version of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, means that the AMF would provide Asian countries with a better alternative during crises.
Of course, there are going to be some issues in terms of how it will be established, who will be the members of the organization, where will the money come from, how will it be funded, how will the money be distributed, what types of intervention will be supported, what types of intervention will be excluded, and how will the governance be sorted out and conducted. Of course, there are going to be issues around all of those issues, but those are things that can be discussed in negotiation, in the establishment of the overall infrastructure, and it appears that the Prime Minister's call for an Asian Monetary Fund has received quite a lot of positive attention, particularly at the ASEAN level, but also around the ASEAN region as a whole. And I think that this is something that will be on the economic agenda for regional development, along with issues such as greater regional integration, greater financial integration amongst ASEAN countries. And I think it's a very important contribution quite early on in his premiership.
Later in the evening, Datuk Seri Anwar held discussions with 4 ASEAN leaders on bilateral ties and cooperation at the 42nd ASEAN Summit in Labuan Bajo, Indonesia. In a statement on his Facebook page, the Prime Minister said he paid a courtesy call on the Sultan of Brunei, Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah, and Pangeran Muda Abdul Matin Bolkiah, and expressed his wish to see Bandar Seri Begawan's involvement in the annual Leaders Consultation ALC this year, where Putrajaya is the host. Datuk Seri Anwar added the discussion with Sultan Hassan Al also focused on investment, landmarking, cooperation in culture and education for the benefit of both countries. The Prime Minister also held a meeting with his Vietnamese counterpart, Pham Minh Chinh, and expressed Malaysia's welcome to receive their delegation to Putrajaya in conjunction with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. The discussion also touched on the investment, apart from hoping that the issue of Vietnamese fishermen's encroachment in Malaysian waters could be dealt with as firmly as possible. During the summit, Datuk Seri Anwar also had a bilateral meeting with Laos Prime Minister Sonexay Siphandone, where both leaders agreed to cooperate more in the fields of banking, training programs for officers and diplomats, besides education and the agricultural industry. In addition, Datuk Seri Anwar also held a bilateral meeting with his counterpart from Timor-Leste, Taur Matan Ruak, and reiterated his full support regarding the Republic's application to join the ASEAN family. The country's top cop said that Bukit Aman had prepared a detailed report on misconduct reports involving police officers and personnel who allegedly did not take any action despite recommendations from the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC). Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Akril Sani Abdullah Sani said the detailed report also included reports that were not sent to the MACC. A day earlier, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki had reportedly said that some government agencies had been sweeping reports of misconduct involving their own under the rug, despite the MACC recommending them to address the problem. Of the 500 reports, 125 involved the police. When asked on Wednesday, the IGP said Bukit Aman will cooperate not only with MACC but also with the Enforcement Agency Integrity Commission to inform them about the type of action that should be taken.
PDRM tidak pernah berkompromi. Kita tidak pernah mengambil ringan isu berkaitan dengan tindakan tata tertib yang perlu diambil kepada mana-mana pegawai, mana-mana anggota yang dipercayai melakukan kesalahan tata tertib. Ya.
The IGP was approached by the media after he witnessed the handover ceremony of the Pahang Police Chief at the State Police Headquarters in Kuantan. Outgoing Pahang Police Chief Datuk Seri Ramli Muhammad Yusof will be replaced by Acting Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Yahaya Othman. Datuk Seri Ramli has been appointed Federal Police Commercial Crime Investigation Department Director. Tan Sri Akril said police have never compromised or become complacent. He stressed that his men will work with all agencies to ensure integrity in the force. Tan Sri Azam Baki has been reappointed as Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) Chief Commissioner for a period of 1 year with effect from May 12. According to Chief Secretary to the Government Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilasha has consented to Tan Sri Azam's appointment. In a statement, he said the appointment was made in accordance with subsections in the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009. Tan Sri Azam was first appointed as MACC Chief Commissioner on March 9, 2020. He replaced Latifah Bibi Koya. Prior to that, he served as the MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner of Operations for 4 years from 2016, in addition to holding the positions of Director of Intelligence and Director of Investigation Division. The Higher Education Ministry (MOHE) through Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris (UPSI) and Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin (UNITSA) have signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies (SOAS) to promote Malay studies and culture. The collaboration between the Malaysian and London universities is seen as a catalyst to elevate the Malay language internationally. According to MOAC Secretary General Datuk Sri Abdul Razak Jaafar, the cooperation signed on Tuesday is an internationalization initiative for Malaysian higher education institutions and talent development hub while promoting the study of the Malay world. It focuses on the implementation of educational programs through industrial training and student teaching, services and collaboration in research, especially the exchange of expertise in manuscript digitization projects. SOAS is a leading higher education institution in Europe, specializing in Asia, Africa and Middle East studies. It has a collection of 22,000 historical manuscripts, including 5,000 relating to the Malay world.
Nanti akan ada 2 orang pensyarah daripada UPSI dalam bidang pengajaran Melayu yang akan menjalankan kajian dan juga usaha sama serta pengajaran dan pembelajaran. Di samping itu, pensyarah-pensyarah ini juga akan mempromosikan bukan saja UPSI tetapi Malaysia kepada pelajar-pelajar di United Kingdom yang berminat untuk mengetahui, mempelajari dan mendalami tentang keunikan budaya kita, tentang keunikan bahasa dan sebagainya.
Para penyidik kita akan hantar ke sini, berkampung di sini mungkin untuk tempoh tertentu bagi memastikan proses deskripsi kepada konten manuskrip itu dapat dijalankan, dan inilah kelebihan daripada pihak Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin di mana para penyidik kita mempunyai kepakaran dalam bidang tersebut, terutamanya yang berkaitan dengan manuskrip dalam bahasa Jawi.
Also on Tuesday, Malaysia and the UK signed a MOU to strengthen cooperation in the higher education sector of both countries. The MOU was inked by Datuk Sri Abdul Razak and the UK's Permanent Secretary at the Department for Education, Susan Ackland-Hood. It was also witnessed by Malaysian High Commissioner to the UK, Datuk Zakri Jaafar. The MOU will see, among others, strategic cooperation in the field of scientific research and talent training between higher education institutions of the 2 countries, the exchange of academic staff, educators, experts and students. When we come back, Pakistani court approves 8-day remand for ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan. Stay with us. A Pakistani court ruled on Wednesday that former Prime Minister Imran Khan can be held for questioning for 8 days after the country's popular opposition leader was dragged from a courtroom and arrested. The National Accountability Bureau requested 14-day detention of Khan, but the tribunal said authorities could keep him in their custody for 8 days. His detention set off clashes between his supporters and the police, leaving at least 4 people dead as angry protesters rallying across the country. 2 people were killed on Tuesday in the southwestern city of Quetta and another in the northwestern city of Peshawar overnight, and 2 more died on Wednesday in clashes with police in Peshawar. In eastern Punjab province, where authorities said 157 police officers were injured in clashes with Khan supporters, the local government has asked the army to step in and restore order. In Nigeria, 15 children drowned and 24 others were missing after their overloaded boat capsized in a river in northwestern state of Sokoto. Officials on Wednesday said the children were on their way to collect firewood in the bush on the other side of Shagari River when their boat sank on Tuesday. Police revealed that the boat was overloaded with over 40 people on board, which led to the capsizing of the boat. Although 15 corpses have been recovered by rescue teams, local divers are still searching for the other victims. River accidents are frequent in Nigeria, often caused by overloading, poor maintenance, heavy flooding in rainy season, and disregard of safety regulations. Triple joy in Silat for Malaysia. More on the SEA Games after this break. We're back with sports, the 32nd SEA Games. The national contingent bagged 6 more gold medals on Tuesday, taking the tally to 20. The Puncak Silat camp brought much cheer to the national contingent when they won 3 gold medals on Wednesday. Malaysia got its 20th gold medal in Cambodia after Muhammad Izul Irfan Marzuki won the men's below 65 kg Puncak Silat category. Izul beat Indonesia's Kade Andre Nova Prayada 39-33 in the final at the Troy Changbar Convention Centre in Phnom Penh. Earlier, Nur Farah Mazlan won the women's below 50 kg category and Nur Shakira Muksin won the women's below 45 kg category. Sabah-born Nur Farah defeated Nadra Sahrin of Singapore 23-16. While SEA Games debutant Nur Shakira edged Indonesia's Suci Wulandari 36-33. Malaysia has so far won 4 gold medals in Puncak Silat. The national diving squad clinched their 3rd gold medal in the sport through youngster Li Yat-Ching, who emerged victorious in the women's platform individual event. Yat-Ching's 253.8 score was enough to give her the win at the Morodok Teko Aquatic Centre. Vietnam's Buletin Hong Giang 242.2 and Indonesia's Gladys Larissa Garena 228 came in 2nd and 3rd. Ng Jing Xuan created history on Wednesday when she became the first Malaysian to emerge as the first women's individual winner in golf at the SEA Games. Jing Xuan upstaged her more illustrious rival Ayla Galitsky of Thailand by triumphing in the first extra hole of the sudden death playoff at the Garden City Golf Club in Phnom Penh. She calmly converted her par putt as she ended the nation's 30-year gold medal drought in the women's competition. The last time Malaysia tasted success in the women's event was through the trio of Lim Ai Lian, Lim Siu Ai and Irene Yeo, who clinched the team gold in the 1993 edition in Singapore. Tang Chiang Min claimed the first wushu gold for Malaysia after winning the women's Nan Quan event at the Troy Chang Wan Convention Centre. The 24-year-old scored 9.626 points for her energetic routine to earn her first ever career SEA Games gold medal. Indonesia's Tasha Ayu Puspa took silver with 9.593 points, while Myanmar's Ai Titsar Mint got the bronze with 9.143 points. Meanwhile, though Cambodia were powered by naturalized Indian and Pakistani players, the hosts still lost 8-1 to defending champions Malaysia in SEA Games women's field hockey at the Morodok pitch in Phnom Penh on Wednesday. Siti Nur Arfah Nur in the 11th and 20th minute, as well as Noraini Abdul Rashid in the 13th and 29th minute, scored a brace each. Nur Afika Shazani Azhar, Nur Amira Shakira Zulkifli, Fatin Shafika Sukri and Nur Maizatul Hanim Shafi Sheikh Fuad got the other goals. Duchchan Sovati scored a consolation goal for Cambodia in the 14th minute. In the meantime, in the men's competition, Malaysia trounced Cambodia, who also had 11 Pakistani imports 6-0. On target for Malaysia were Najib Abu Hassan, Amirul Hamizan Azhar, Danish Aiman Khairul Anwar, Alfarico Lance Liao, Shahmi Irfan Suhaimi and Adam Ashraf Johari. The Malaysian men will face Singapore next. The national women's table tennis squad reached the SEA Games team final after 30 years by overcoming Vietnam 3-1 in the semi-finals at Morodok Teko National Stadium. The trio of Karen Lin, Ho Ying, Thi Ai Sin and Im Lee Yin, who upset Singapore 3-0 on Tuesday, will take on Thailand in the final on Thursday. Malaysia last reached the women's team final at the 1993 Singapore edition, finishing runners-up to Indonesia. Malaysia bagged the bronze in Hanoi last year. Child driving car. Police records parents' statements. The details when we return. A 54-year-old man with a Datuk Sri title was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with 4 counts of asking and receiving a 15 million ringgit bribe 2 years ago. Datuk Sri Sim Chu Tiam, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges after it was read out to him before Sessions Judge Rosina Ayub. On the first charge, he claimed trial to asking for a 15 million ringgit bribe from Hep Kim Hong, the director of Asia Coding Centre Sindran Berhad, in June 2021. as an inducement to get then Home Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin to obtain whatever projects under the Home Ministry's Agencies for Asia Coding Centre. He was also slapped with 3 counts of receiving 3.5 million ringgit, 5.5 million ringgit and 6 million ringgit in bribes from HEP on July 19th, 28th and 30th the same year. The accused was charged under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Act 2009 and faces a maximum of 20 years imprisonment or a fine of no less than 5 times the amount of bribe received or 10,000 ringgit, whichever amount is higher upon conviction. The court ordered 1 million ringgit bail on the accused. The judge also ordered him to surrender his passport to the court and to report to the MACC KL branch once every month. The court fixed June 14th for mention. In Malacca, a pair of lovers along with 7 men were remanded for 7 days by the Ayakroh Magistrates Court over the murder of a private company manager who was killed in a fight that broke out in Tengkara on Tuesday. The remand order starting Wednesday was issued by Magistrate Sharda Shinka Muhammad Sulaiman to facilitate police investigations into the case. Malacca Tengah Police Chief ACP Christopher Patit said all the suspects, including a 36-year-old businessman, his 26-year-old girlfriend and his 27-year-old bodyguard, were being investigated under the Penal Code for murder. Initial investigations found that the 35-year-old victim and several friends who were drunk after partying came to a food stall in Jalan Kenanga at 4 a.m. for some food and drinks. After they had eaten, the victim allegedly uttered some inappropriate comments about the woman and got into an argument with the other 2 men, which then escalated into a fight. Police rushed to the scene after being alerted by the public at 4:15 a.m. and found the victim unconscious with a stab wound. He was taken to the Malacca hospital for treatment but succumbed to his injuries. In Kedah, police have recorded the statements of the parents of a 6-year-old boy who had a day earlier driven their car for 2.5 kilometres before hitting a lamppost in Langkawi. The island's District Police Chief ACP Shariman Ashari said the case was being investigated under the Road Transport Act 1987 as well as the Child Act 2001. In the 11 p.m. incident, the boy lost control of the vehicle and ended up crashing into a lamppost along Jalan Bukit Tangga. He suffered a cut to his chin. In the car, he was with his 3-year-old brother, who escaped unhurt. They were reportedly heading to a nearby store to buy toys. During the incident, their 28-year-old father, the owner of a retail shop, was reportedly asleep, while their 22-year-old mother, a housewife, was in the bathroom. At the moment, probe into the case involved driving recklessly and dangerously. Also, children neglected, abandoned or exposed in a manner likely to cause them physical or emotional injury. Police had the couple's statements recorded on Wednesday afternoon. And that concludes Nightline this time around. From sea creatures to mummies and citadels, different shapes of sand sculptures take over a public beach at Egypt's coastal city of Alexandria as artists and students compete in the Sand Sculpture Festival. As we wrap up, let's take a look as artists and fine arts students use the Al Saraya public beach as their canvas, creating large sand sculptures. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for tuning in.